volunteers there spotting and ready to catch them and keeping those hay bales in place should they flip over.
Well, and that's one thing that'll happen after every rover passes over one of these obstacles, is that you've got these team volunteers that are out here left and right, and they'll go through and reposition and readdress each obstacle to get it ready for the next one.
That's right. We've got to give each team the same challenge, and so the volunteers are great about taking their shovel, rake, whatever the tools they've been given, and maintaining the obstacle and getting it back in the position that it was in before the rover came through.
Absolutely, because we want it to be as equal, of course, a fair opportunity, a fair shot for everybody. And so as we see teams coming and going, this is the Coleman team, team number 30, Red Rover, Red Rover. Don't flip over before we get to the end of the finish line for the 2016 Rover Challenge. It looks like they were able to cross that, which is great. And then moving on, we've got team number 60, Scotlandville Magnet High School from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They joined us yesterday, had a chance to talk to several of their, actually 3 members of their team yesterday. And a great opportunity to have them join us year after year. And so I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the great equalizer of the course this year, the Martian Butte terrain obstacle, which every team, no team so far, has been able to accomplish that one without having to incur some kind of penalty. So walk us a little bit through that obstacle.
So that obstacle, obstacle 5, and the next 3 obstacles were new to the course last year. They're called our Martian terrain, and that butte. The obstacles were pretty much, because they're not in an area that gets a lot of traffic from the Space and Rocket Center, we left those there and just came back in, and we're just going to kind of spiff them up a little bit for this year, make sure they were good, and we added a little more challenge to that. And that butte, which it's about a 5-foot or so hill, probably about 8 inches higher than it was last year, pretty steep incline, and traction getting up it is difficult too. It's not a packed-in surface; it's a loose surface of kind of red clayish material, and yeah, I mean, so far 2/3 of the way through the competition, and nobody has successfully navigated it without getting some kind of penalty.
Absolutely, that Alabama red clay definitely slowed everybody down on that one Martian-themed obstacle course, the first one there, as they come through. So teams are always struggling with that a little bit, but it's an even-killed race because everyone has to deal with that daunting task.
That's right. Same challenge for everybody.
What do we think, since we know we've got, I think it's 4 Martian-themed obstacles, though, they're back to back to back to back, and they all represent, the same kind of terrain that we would have on distant planets and moons and whatnot. So if we think about the years coming up, what changes have you all discussed about maybe the Martian-themed obstacle course growing or being simpler or changed, or what's the thoughts?
The grand idea there is that is we make that some kind of permanent course, and the Space and Rocket Center is able to take advantage of it as some kind of an attraction that they use, but we haven't gotten there yet. So we're just making changes year to year. I'm sure we'll make changes based on the challenge we've seen this year, but we're just kind of making our own mental notes on what we'll do for next year, but we don't yet know what those changes will be. But we look at the course every year. Dr. Frank Six, who's the father of this event, he takes the lead on the course, and we definitely help him with our input. And as soon as this year's race wraps up, we'll start thinking about preparing for next year.
Absolutely. We've met with some of the teams who have that same aspect, just like we do in our workforce and in our every event we accomplish. Once we finish, we get together and do a lessons learned, quote-unquote lessons learned tag up, where we talk about what worked, what didn't, because it's fresh in everybody's mind, and then you can start to apply it going forward. And we talk about the permanent, ability to have that course here. I know we talked about that last year for the Martian-themed obstacle, was getting all that in and keeping it and maintaining it throughout the year. And one thing when you've got Alabama red clay dirt that's scattered around is as it rains, as it does, all throughout the year here, it washes away some of that dirt that we've really struggled to get in here and get in a position. So making it a long time and some kind of long time feature here at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center would be a really great opportunity as we see the Scotlandville Magnet High School team from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, dealing with, looks like the Martian Butte, which we were just talking about. No shame in getting off and pushing your rover up the first hill, because that's what every team has done so far. And so, what's been your most exciting or interesting aspect of this year's race?
This year, it's the same every year. I mean, I just enjoy seeing the kids trying to accept the challenge that they've been put in front of them, and getting that real world experience of deadlines, requirements, their stories of their journeys here. And, it keeps me young hearing all that because it's a little nostalgic and too, just kind of hearing the new ways that they go about this challenge because, the whole event has changed, but that whole how sophisticated the teams are, absolutely, and how they go about everything is just eons past what we did way back 20-something years ago when I was a competitor.
Absolutely. So that keeps you younger, I should say. As you just mentioned, keep you young. I'm going to go in there and keep you younger. As looks like we're having some issues with the Scotlandville Magnet high school team from Baton Rouge on the course right now. I see a wheel on the course, and I'm going to assume that is one of their 4 wheels that they had. And so they just pulled that Rover off the course. I'm sorry, they pulled that wheel off the course, but the Rover is still on there. So the team has the option, if they can push, pull, drag this Rover to the end, even without a wheel. Looks like what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and I was out on the course yesterday with this team, Scotlandville, and they encountered some of the same issues with the wheel coming off. But you asked, what do I enjoy? This was one of the most enthusiastic teams that I remember seeing. I mean, they were motivated, and whatever, no matter what challenges they were facing, they were determined to finish the course, and it's so inspiring to see that.
Absolutely, this some grit, determination. Everybody wants to make it to the end of the course. You might have to put a little extra effort to push, pull, drag, but they want to get there, and there's no shame in not finishing the course. We've got on the leaderboard list, we've gone through several teams that were able to make it, maybe 25 teams-ish, around in that general area of teams that were able to complete the course, and then there were at least 10 teams on the high school and the university division both that weren't able to finish the course, and so that's just kind of sometimes is the breaks.
That's right. It's a tough course, and you just hopefully they've learned a lot this year, and they can come back next year with a better Rover, and they're able to complete the course the following year.
Absolutely, and once again, it's not just about finishing the course. We've got the awards that we give out. As you mentioned, we talked about the Crash Burn Award, the Rookie of the Year Award, the International Team, the Pit Crew Award. And so your role really, I'm kind of curious, where else around the course today you've been spending most of your time?
Well, all over the course, really. I mean, anytime there's any kind of a judgment call that, somebody's not sure about, or we're trying to keep the race flow going so that, we can get every team on the course and a chance to compete. That's where Dennis Gallagher and Dennis takes the lead in that, but I assist him and, making sure the event flows as smoothly as possible. And, Dennis and I both have been working this event for close to 20 years, and, we just have a lot of history that everybody draws on, and we're glad to help out wherever we can, in addition to whatever our assigned roles are.
And one question we keep getting on Twitter, we're talking about online, is there an official leaderboard that we can refer to? I didn't know if you happen to have
this. I brought hard copies of the just before I came over here to the broadcast booth. I brought from about 11 o'clock this morning the most recent updates of the times we've had.
But yeah, let's get a high school update. Let's do the high school teams. Can you give us some of the current leaders on the board as we've got teams taking off from the start-finish line, putting 2 Rovers on the course? Give us a little bit of high school. Who are the top 3 high school teams so far in scoring?
So the top 3 teams are, in first place, Rafaelina LeBron Flores High School out of Puerto Rico. They are their official time is 6 minutes and 9 seconds. They bettered their raw time on the course by about 6 minutes this morning. That was a big improvement. Second place, Greenfield Central High School from Indiana. Their time's roughly 7.5 minutes, and then the Academy of Arts, Careers and Technology from Reno, Nevada. They're in third place. Matter of fact, each of those teams have improved their times from yesterday, and hopefully there may be some other teams to come in there as well. But those are, and that's been a little change from where we finished last night with the top 3, but especially with LeBron Flores coming in first right now. But that's where our high school teams stand at the moment.
Absolutely. Greenfield Central High School with a 7:35 mark, and then Academy of Arts, Careers and Technology at the 7:37 mark. So just 2-second difference for their final time. And I'll tell you what, Bill keeps referencing this all day long, is their assembly time, 4 seconds for the Academy of Arts, 21 seconds for Greenfield Central High School. So we're talking, a decent difference in assembly time, and everything gets factored in, especially look at the way you deal with the penalty times. And so your final times for those 2 teams, second and third place, just 2 seconds off. It can really show you the importance of the assembly time feature that we have for Rover year after year.
Absolutely, and like you said, some of those teams are very fast with that assembly time, and that helps tremendously. I mean, they can make up course time by having a faster assembly time.
Yeah, in fact, first place team, Rafaelina LeBron, with a 4-second assembly time as well. So that's the high school team. Let's roll over and get an update for the college teams. Who's on the top of the leaderboard for the 2016 college teams?
So our college teams in the first three positions right now are where we finished last night. North Dakota State in first place with an overall time of 7 minutes 11 seconds. Auburn University in second at 7 minutes and 47 seconds, and coming in third, Purdue University Calumet team 1 at 7 minutes and 48. So our second and third places are only separated by a second right now. And as a matter of fact, neither of those three teams have yet to run today, so we'll see if there's any change there. But like I said, that's where we finished last night, and none of the college teams that have run so far have bettered those top three times.
Absolutely. So you've got high school teams, college teams, and in some instances, so far this year, if we talk about the fastest team on the course so far between high school and university, Rafaelina LeBron Flores posting the 6.9-minute mark is the fastest so far than even the college teams.
Absolutely, and that's something we've seen is you expect maybe the college teams are going to be faster, but over the last several years, we've got high school teams that are as faster than the college teams, and sometimes I think that's because they may take a more simplistic approach and what they go about. They don't try to do too much. They find out what works and just keep doing that, and they're able to go very fast.
That's a great bit of advice. So we go down to the start-finish line with Lori. Who do you have next for us?
Huntsville Center for Technology. What's your name?
Nancy Miranda.
And yours?
Dawson Sanders.
Dawson, tell me, neither of you raced yesterday, but